kiss me goodbye and write me while I'm gone. Goodbye, my sweetheart, hello, Vietnam.
Welcome to the Alabama Sportsman's Podcast. I'm Landon Holtman.
I'm Jamie Sparks.
This past weekend, we were invited to a hunt, and I was introduced to a military veteran by the name of Jonathan Bankston. And anyways, he told me about his organization and all the stuff he's doing for the military veterans around the state. And I said, man, we need this guy on the podcast,
Right,
you know.
right.
Jonathan Bankston.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, bud.
Doing well.
Good.
Jonathan, tell us about your organization and all in the state of Alabama.
Yeah, absolutely. So the name of the organization is called the Fallen Outdoors. We are a 501c3 not-for-profit. Our home state is actually in Washington State, but I run the team here in Alabama. Fallen Outdoors was basically it was started up in 2009 when the founder of the organization lost two of his soldiers in Afghanistan who had never gone hunting, and he didn't want to pass up that opportunity for any other vet who's either actively serving honorably or disabled of all generations. They wanted to make sure they're in the outdoors and get that chance of experience an outdoor experience in their life.
Right. Where's the Fallen Outdoors? Where's it based out of? Is it based out of Alabama?
No, well, the team it's based out of actually Washington State, Olympia, Washington.
Okay.
We've actually got teams throughout the entire United States, through various states, and somewhere between 40 and 46. I can't really name all the states off the top of my head, but I can get you close to it. I just run the team in Alabama. I took over the team in 2017, where I came on as a pro staffer, and then it wasn't long after that the team lead for Alabama had stepped down, and I got thrown in the role somehow. I guess I was working hard, getting trips lined up for the guys that they thought I had enough work ethic to take over the team, and been running it ever since, and haven't looked back and haven't had any issues or any bad experiences since.
Nice. Sounds like it's rewarding. You know, a lot of fun too.
It is. It really is. I was in the military myself. We're an all-veteran organization, so everybody that's on staff is a veteran. So we're all giving back to the veterans that serve as well. I mean, like I said a minute ago, we serve all generations. I've taken two different Vietnam vets, and if I could go older, I would. But
cool.
with those guys, it gets limited. But at the same time, we got anybody from Vietnam all the way down to Iraq, Afghanistan that's serving right now.
What branch of military were you in?
I was in the Army.
Okay, all right. My granddad was too, of course. That was World War II.
Yeah.
Paratrooper. And my uncle and my cousin, they were both in the Army. My other granddad was in the Army.
Nice.
A lot of family in the Army, actually.
Yeah.
Right.
So tell us.
I've got ancestors that go as far back as the Revolutionary War, from my understanding, but I can only confirm the Civil War.
Yeah, I can too. Landon knows exactly. I got my great great granddad was buried not far from here where we live. So, and he's got a Confederate headstone.
Nice.
Yeah. But tell us a little bit more about your organization. What do y'all actually do?
All right, so our main goal is to connect veterans with other veterans through the outdoors, whether it's they're actively serving, they served in the past honorably, they're disabled, retired. It doesn't matter what generation they are. We want to get them in the outdoors. We want to connect them with other vets. And the reason that's being is because when you get out of the military, you're just lost. I mean, you have for most guys, they have no sense of purpose, and that leads to suicide. And I don't know if you've heard of the 22 the 22 veterans a day.
Yes.
Suicide rate,
Right.
and it's even higher in the state of Alabama. And so one of our main purposes for those guys who are lost or who just want to connect with other vets, we want to get them out, get their minds off those demons, connect them with other vets so they can share their stories, connect with those guys, and just open up to them. And that's one of the main reasons we do it. But we also serve guys that are still active duty. Here in Alabama, we've got a couple of duty stations here. We've got Redstone, Rucker, Maxwell Gunner Air Force Base, and one on the edge of Fort Benning. So we get a lot of active duty guys at the same time. And a lot of those guys that are still serving still have those demons, even though they're active duty. It's not just them being in the military and they've got it. A lot of those guys get discharged because of it. But we just want to get those guys' minds off of what's bothering them. Get them in the outdoors and hopefully connect them with an animal or a fish or something that'll give them a memory to last.
Right.
Well, where do y'all find the places for them to hunt at?
So a lot of it's been word of mouth. Our main platform is Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
We've got
What's your Facebook page called?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
What's the Facebook page?
So the Facebook page, we actually have a couple of groups. The groups are broken down into regions. So if you're a veteran, you can go to our all veteran group. That's where we post all of our hunts.
Right.
But we actually have a Facebook page where we post all of our success stories and events that we've done in the past and all that, just to let our supporters know what we've done and what we're doing. But it's just the Fallen Outdoors, and it covers all of our teams. So you'll see stuff on there for Team Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, Washington, Oregon, New York, North Carolina, Missouri, just a couple of teams to name a few that you can see. But how I get a lot of the posts is word of mouth. When I first started the team, or when I first took over the team, we were just really a start from scratch team that has only been going for a couple of months. And I think that's kind of one of the reasons why the team lead had stepped down before me. It was just a lot of stress on him. So I went in there and I took over, and I made a Facebook page, a Facebook post. So, hey, my name's Jonathan. This is the organization I work with. This is what we're looking for. If any of you guys want to help out, shoot me a message. And from then, my Facebook Messenger just blew up. A lot of guys would just reach out to me, and a lot of guys will contact with me and want to book stuff up. But when it comes time to do for game planning, it's just like, oh, well, we can't do it this weekend, or we can't do it this year, or maybe next year type stuff.
Right.
But the guys that do connect with us, we take guys out, one or two vets during a week or on a weekend, or it may be like the South Shelby Dog Club that we're at this past weekend for the youth hunt. Mm-hmm. We got some of the vets' kids out there hunting this weekend too. But a lot of dog clubs, a lot of farms. One farm in particular was Iron Horse Charities. They've held a couple of events for us in the past, which is a great event. There's another event that we had just right outside of Fort Benning, just right outside Seal. I can't really name the name of the town off the top of my head because it's one of them weird, funky sounding towns. But they held some combat wounded vets. We had an amputee out there last year that was put on an event that had a really good shot a really good deer.
Right.
But a lot of it, like I said, is word of mouth. Whoever is willing to have us, we're all, who's the one that's to send the invite, we're always happy to accept it, regardless, because our goal isn't about quality events. It's more about getting those guys out and actually doing something to get their minds off those demons, or connecting with someone that is willing to open up to them, or take them in for them to share their story and all that.
That's awesome.
That's great,
I love
man.
it, man. I love the military. I love all them guys that do this. That, a lot of them paid the ultimate sacrifice, and a lot of them, are still battling it in their mind.
Well, I mean, they give their mind, their body, and everything.
Yeah, I know
Crazy.
it, and I just wrote something down here, and I want to go over this with you after we do this episode and see what you think about it. But I got a great idea. And maybe we can make something happen. But I'm gonna share it with you off air in a little bit, Jonathan. But
Sure.
Do y'all have members in the state, or is it just if you got a wounded warrior or whatever, a veteran that just wants to come along, or are they members?
Yeah.
No, it's not a membership at all. It's like I said, we got a Facebook group. In order to join it, you got to be a veteran, and we ask a couple of questions that only a veteran would know in order to accept it. And a lot of the guys that are in the group don't get selected for trips. We've got events that are open just for anybody, and then we've got some that we'll actually do a raffle for. Not really a raffle, but I guess they'll sign up for it. I'll give them a raffle number and do a random generator to draw their name. Let's see, did I say we had an open events, and then there's guys that where the host just won't have this. I want a combat wounded vet. I want a Purple Heart. I want an amputee. Just really specific, but everybody that's in that group, there's not really a membership. You don't pay to do anything. There's no newsletter that we send out, not yet at least. But it's just that as long as you're a veteran and you're in that group, you're open and available to attend any of our events.
Okay.
Nice.
I want to ask you about something you said earlier. You were talking about the suicide rate amongst these veterans and stuff, and you said that Alabama was higher than any other state. And why would you why would you say that? I mean, why would that be?
I really don't know that. I know that the state of Alabama has a high number of service members, I guess, that come out of high school. They're more willing to serve more than most states. Of course, when I was in the military, I always ran into somebody that was from Alabama. Mm-hmm. One of the closest friends that I have right now grew up in Anniston or Gadsden. Went to what's the name of that school up there? Coosa Christian. Yeah. Is it Coosa Christian? Mm-hmm. He grew up there and he met his wife there. We became best friends in the military. We did everything together when we were at Fort Stewart. I mean, drove around these dirt roads, pig hunt, deer hunt when deer season was open. We got off of work, went pig hunting or fishing, and on the weekends we were at the beach because we went hunting during the week. But I've always met somebody from Alabama, and I'm wondering, and I don't know off the top of my head why that rate's higher. I'm assuming it's because we have a high number of service members that come out of Alabama to get to join the military, right? And the different service branches of the military. I really don't have an answer. I wish I did, because I'd like to put my input into it and see what I can do to combat it even further than what I'm doing now.
Right. How many hunters did y'all take last year? Or veterans did y'all take hunting last year?
So as far as hunting, we probably took close to 50. Mm-hmm. And then fishing, we probably took a total of 40 something. Actually, probably closer to 50. I think we took a total of 100 vets out altogether last year. Okay. My goal is 200 a year, so eventually I'll get there. As long as I got the sponsorship and the support behind me to do it, I'll eventually get there. But right now, my foreseeable goal that I'm working for is 200.
Okay. And you said you were a nonprofit organization. How hard is it right now to get money from these donors? I mean, is it are you having a hard time right now?
In a way, yes, but in a way, no. And the reason why is because I don't pursue donors. Mm-hmm. And the reason being is because I really don't like to deal with the money aspect of it. I don't like talking to people about donations. I don't like asking for money. That's right. My personal preference. What I do know is that all the money that we do get stays here in the state. It doesn't go up to Washington. We don't pay a 10% charity fee or 10% chapter fee or anything like that. Right. 100% of the funds that we do bring in stays here locally. And that's one of the reasons why, is because I don't like a lot of organizations outside of the Fallen Outdoors. Their bigwigs are bringing in hundreds of $1,000s while all that money is getting pushed out to little or nothing to the groups that actually need it or use it. And that's the reason why I don't like to talk to people about money as far as donations. Now, when I have an event that I know is going to be huge, for instance, I had a huge dove hunt. It was a vet and youth dove hunt at the beginning of this year's season. Mm-hmm. 40 vets.
Wow.
40 vets, and I made those guys pay a $25 deposit just to secure their spot. Right. But as soon as they arrived, I gave them their $25 back.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the reason why is because I wanted to make sure those guys were there. Yeah. I wanted to make sure that seat was filled, and I didn't come up to that farm on that morning and nobody showed up. Right. And here I am planned, but also had at the same time, we also fed them lunch. I had a butcher in Wetumpka, George's Butchery in Wetumpka, donate the food the other day, which was amazing. And I believe it was Alabama Ag Credit, and I probably may have promoted the wrong bank as far as the
I saw
prizes
that.
and stuff. The bank had donated a bunch of money to us for prizes. Actually, they bought the prizes and brought it in there to us to do raffle tickets. Some of my staffers, we all chipped in $15 a year ago for it's called a Maluna 22 cooler, which was all the money that was raised for that 22 cooler went back to the Fallen Outdoors for suicide awareness for the 22 vets a day that we were talking about earlier. So we all chipped in our $15, and I gave it away to we raffled it off or gave it away to one of the kids that was on that youth hunt, who just so happened to be an active duty vet stationed at Maxwell Gunner Air Force Base down in Montgomery. That's just kind of the stuff, if I have a huge event that I know that I need food for, if I want to do raffles, I've got a couple of guys that I know that's got businesses that I can contact. Be like, hey, this is what I got going on. This is what I need. Can you help out? If they can, they can. If they can't, they can't. And it's like I said, I don't like keeping a pocket of money for donations that's not going to get used unless it's needed. And that's when I try to go out to the two businesses and be like, hey, can you organize this event for me? Can you help me with this event? And a lot of those guys will help out.
Right. Where are you based out of? I mean, I know you're in Alabama, but your location, where are you
Me
at?
personally?
Yeah.
I'm actually just right outside of Birmingham, a little town called Chelsea, Alabama.
Okay.
Yep.
So when you do your hunts, you just go wherever you're available. Well, let me ask you this: how do you find the farms to hunt on?
So a lot of guys hear about the Fallen Outdoors, and they'll reach out to Washington. Washington will reach out to me. And like I said earlier, I put a post out on Facebook, usually about once or twice a year, right before season, just so I can get feelers out there. That's where a lot of it comes from. Mm-hmm. There was the Iron Horse Farms that we did this year and a couple years past. I actually got in touch with them through the Wounded Warrior Project on a hunt a couple of years ago. And as soon as I was invited to that hunt, I was like, well, do you guys ever do anything with any other organizations? I said, because I'm working with another organization now, looking to try to get stuff lined up for next year. And this was during turkey season of 2015, I think, 2016. And I said, well, I'm just trying to get stuff ready for next year. And then right before deer season, they called, and every year they've been calling us back. And they like dealing with us because I don't know, it's just because a lot of we're getting a lot of age groups in, a lot of older guys in that served in Desert Storm and the early years of Iraq and Afghanistan right after 9/11. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're just because there's a different mentality between the two different age groups somehow, and they just like how we bring those guys in, and we're not just doing disabled vets, we're doing everybody, whether they're active duty or Vietnam. We had a Vietnam vet came out there the first year we had a hunt with him. He could get around, he was fine, sharp as a tack, but when you got him out on that deer stand, he was asleep the whole time.
Yeah.
And I can send you a picture of that too if I still got it on my phone to share with everybody. But
I definitely went to sleep myself.
Yeah, but it's great, man. I love it. I love doing it because when I was in the military, I was medically retired because of my heart. I had a couple of heart issues and a heart surgery to take care of it, and it didn't allow me to serve my full time that I wanted to do. I mean, in fact, I'd still be in today if the military allowed me, but they didn't. So they sent me home packing early because of my heart. And because of that, I got a heart for vets, and I just want to get back to them. It didn't matter who they are, what they are, what color they are. I want to get back to them. I've taken guys that's never been deer hunted before, killed their first deer on the opening night, and just all they've done was just, thank me for it. And that's all they've done. And it puts a smile on my face, and I know it puts a big smile on their face, and it's a big, huge pleasure, I guess.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's good stuff.
So when it comes to that was hunting. So fishing, is it basically the same way, or do you got fishing guides or just people with boats just want to take guys fishing? How does that work?
Yeah, a little bit. Fishing's a little bit different. I met a guy a couple months back who's like, "Hey man, I heard about your organization. I want to take a bet fishing." He goes, "I got some good spots. I want to take them there." And they did. I mean, he took one of my vets out. They caught a couple of 5-10 pound bass.
Wow.
Tossed them back and came back, so he can come back again and do the same thing. I guess he just likes catching fish.
Yeah.
But also one of my staffers, he's retired Navy pararescue. He's got a charter himself that he takes guys out, does it for a living, and he'll donate a couple of weekends out. He goes, as long as I can get someone to volunteer as a deckhand, because I'll take those guys out for free. I offered him a letter of sponsorship to a tax write-off, and he refuses it for gas and all that.
That's awesome, man.
But I mean, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
He'll give you a shirt off his back. He was supposed to do a duck hunt with me last year, but things happened and he couldn't do it. But he's got a little charter out of Dolphin Island. Another one of my staffers who's disabled. He's actually, his wife's still active duty Air Force, but he follows her around, and he's got a little bow fishing rig that he takes guys bow fishing. Another one of my vets is active duty Air Force, does the same thing. But Derek, he lined up this huge fishing trip for us this past year at the fishing rodeo at Dolphin Island.
Right.
He reached out to a couple of charters and was like, "Hey, summertime is dead for us. We want to get guys out." I've already called a couple of charters, and they're already booked up for the summer. And that guy cleared the schedule up, called a bunch of his buddies up, took 40 vets out, fed them and everything.
That's awesome. Hey,
exactly.
him. Plug his name. Do you remember his name?
The name of the charter?
Yes.
Ugly Stick, maybe, or Ugly. You would ask me off the top of my head, but I can look it up and tell you.
That's fine. I didn't know if you knew it right off the top of your head. Would give that guy, a plug, because that's a.
If you're doing stuff like that, you deserve to get all the business.
You do. You
yeah,
need
definitely.
it all.
And I can give you that information too, and we'll plug him in later.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I even contacted the mayor. The mayor down there was very hospitable for us too, and I sent him a letter thanking him for everything he's done for us and all that. I mean, it was an incredible event.
Right, man. I'd love it. I love what you got going on.
It's great.
It is.
I do too, man. It really puts you in check. Seeing where a lot of these guys are at, and what they're doing, where they've come from, and where they're going. You meet some really incredible guys, and it really, knowing where their heart's at and what they're going through, and seeing what they get to when you get them on a deer that's a buck of a lifetime, or their first deer. It's really great, really good feeling.
Well, how many people do you have lined up right now for a deer hunt?
As of right now, as far as as events wise,
yeah.
I've got one for sure on the book. I've already held one this year. We had 10 vets. Had guys actually come from out of state for this one.
Okay.
Had one already this year for a bow hunt. I've got one deer hunt in a couple of weeks. Waiting on a date for another one. Actually, waiting on dates for 3 more. And I don't know when those will be. As of right now, I have 0 dates for January and February.
Okay.
Will you post them on Facebook so the veterans can find it?
Yeah, we actually have a group, like I was telling you about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It's our all veteran group. That's where we post all of our trips.
Okay.
A lot of guys being around Montgomery, we get a lot of guys that are just moved to Alabama. They're just now getting stationed.
Mm-hmm.
So they're asking, "Hey, where can I go hunt? Where's a good place to hunt?" Like you see that on Alabama Deer Hunters. We get on there, and listen, man, this is what I do. We take vets out, hunting, fishing, active duty, retired, of all generations. It doesn't matter where as long as you honorably served. We're taking you out. Just sign up for this group. I'll have a trip, a couple of weeks. Sign up for it, and I'll put you on it. And I've met a lot of guys. I've got one vet that's a highly ranking non-commissioned officer at at Maxwell. That's just, I mean, he's kicking butt right now, putting the word out for me because I got him on a trip. I've got him on a trip last year, and he took a buck of his lifetime. And he's like, man, I love what you do, and I want to get back to. What can I do? I was like, well, you can either become a staffer or you can just be a representative for me. Just put word out for me. Just put feelers out. If you get something lined up, let me know. I'll set it up and I'll see if I can get you on the trip. Because he wants to get back, and a lot of these trips I don't get to make, so I'm always looking for someone to go in my place. And that's a lot of the reasons why I have staffers for me. I've got like 8 staffers from all over the state.
Mm-hmm.
That if I can't go, they're always willing to represent for me.
Right. Now, a military, someone who's active military right now, do y'all accommodate those guys as well?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely.
And if they're not from Alabama, now I'm not sure on this. That's why I'm about to ask you this question. I think the state changed the rules on hunting license. How do those guys go about getting a hunting license and all that?
So the guys that are actually active duty and stationed in Alabama,
Yes, that are not from Alabama but they're stationed here.
they're treated as a resident of Alabama.
Awesome.
The only thing they have to do is, and unlike Alabama residents where we have to go, where we can go online and purchase a license, they actually have to go to a courthouse and purchase it.
Okay.
Like a license plate courthouse. I know that a lot of military institutions, a lot of military bases will have an actual courthouse on post where you can actually purchase a license in person.
Okay.
I know when I was stationed at Fort Stewart in Georgia, we had one, and their laws were the same way. All I had to do was get treated me as a resident.
Mm-hmm.
The Fallen Outdoors, the state of Alabama actually has a nonprofit hunting license for non-residents. It's a group license. It's the same price as a one non-resident 3-day permit. I think it's $135, but it includes up to 10 vets as long as they're 50% disabled by the VA. So, and that's one of the things that a lot of like Iron Horse does. They'll when we have an event, we'll go in there with them, and they'll get the vets, they'll get all the information, and they'll go in there and do all the paperwork for us, and then everything's just ready to go when they arrive. We did that a couple of years ago. Actually, we had a primitive deer hunt on a piece of club land in Clanton, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, the guys didn't have no campsites, they didn't have no power, no water, and it was like 20 degrees out that night. So they all went out there with their tents, set up a fire. One of the vets killed a deer. They butchered that joker up, cooked it up for dinner and breakfast and all that stuff. Slept in the tents all night in that cold, freezing weather. Went up the next morning, shot deer, did the same thing the next night, and all the way till Sunday afternoon. Started on a Friday night, and it was a successful event. I think we had 10 vets on it too.
That sounds like a blast.
Man, that sounds
I
fun.
know it.
A lot of fun.
Jonathan, how would somebody that's listening to the podcast, how would they say if they wanted to take a veteran out or get in touch with you and like maybe host an event or something like that? How would they go about that?
Well, there's a couple of different ways. They can either go through you to get in touch with me. You guys got my contact information.
Right.
They can email me. My email address is al.lead@thefallenoutdoors.com. I've got a secondary email, which is tfoalabama@gmail.com, or they can call me. Usually, if you go and call me, I don't want to put my phone number out over the air, but
Yeah, don't.
I'll let them go through you guys to get my phone number.
Okay.
Right.
That's awesome. Well, I was going to ask you also, does it matter when you put on an event, how many guys are you looking for? Does it matter to bring along?
So on an event, it all depends on the host. They'll tell me if they want 10 vets, 2 vets, 3 vets, or 1 vet.
Gotcha.
The number, and I just go off of what their criteria is. If they want somebody that's combat wounded, PTSD, amputated, anything, I use it to their discretion. But like, all right, what do you want? Active duty military, or do you want retirees, you want Vietnam vets. I got a friend of mine that owns an outfitter up in Kentucky. He's hosting a Vietnam vet only event in a couple of weeks. I told him about 2 Vietnam vets I knew here in Alabama, and one of them's on that trip right now, or going on that trip in a couple of weeks.
Right.
Great.
But it all depends on the guide who wants to, or the host that wants to have who they want out there.
And how many they can host at once?
Yeah, I don't want to throw somebody out there who they don't want. And in fact, there's one company, or not one company, but there's one farm they want me to vet them before they come out there. They want to make sure they're not going to be someone who's going to be disobedient or what's the word, defiant, I guess, against the rules that are put out there. A lot of places have certain rules. They don't want you to shoot a certain animal, and they want to make sure that who we're having out there is an actual veteran, not someone posing to be a veteran.
Right.
I mean, I go through a lot of vetting processes when I do events like this, like the one right outside of Seal, Alabama. He's like, "Hey, I want a combat vet, but I don't want to have anybody here. I want someone who's deserving, who's not a hunt shopper, who's out there looking for hunts every other weekend. I want somebody that's out there that actually needs this hunt this weekend." I'm the same way with another farm. I go through it. I put the post out there. Hey, look, this is what I'm looking for. I want you to look over these questions. Send me a bio of your military career and what you're going through right now, and I'll give you a call in a couple weeks to get to know you a little bit, see if you're the right fit for this hunt. And we've got hunts like that, and there's others that are just like the dog hunt down at South Shelby. Jimmy will always tell me, "Hey, I want 10 guys," and then I have 40 people sign up and be like, "Oh, we'll just send a couple more if they can make it. Send them. I don't want to discriminate them. They're always honored to be here."
Right.
So,
I got a question. Try to say that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I know you was talking about the South Shelby Hunting Club. Are y'all gonna host a dog event this year? A dog hunt this year?
yes, I'm still waiting from Jimmy to give me that date, but he was planning on doing one before the holidays, I believe, or sometime around the holidays.
Yeah, that's that youth hunt that he puts on, man. That was a blast.
I know he invited us out there last year. I didn't make it last year down there, but I had one of my staffers down there. This year was the first time I was able to attend it, and it was amazing. He always does a good event.
He's a great
dogs
host,
are
man.
usually doing stuff opening weekend. It was kind of tough, I guess, because the deer were running in packs still. But they're always doing great events, and it's just like that just about every weekend from what I hear.
So, do these guys, will they hunt anything? I mean, like squirrels, rabbits, turkeys? I mean, will you put any of that on?
Talking about the veterans.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
You talking the vets?
Yes.
Yeah, if I can get an event, I'll do it. I had a turkey hunt lined up last year, but the weather screwed everything up for us. So we had to cancel it. We had a rabbit hunt last year that went really well. I wish I could do more small game stuff. I wish I could do more turkey stuff. That's one of the things that, I think turkeys are more possessive than deer are as far as hunting, as hunters goes. So, like, if you got a good spot, you don't want to give it up because you want to hunt that turkey. That's your turkey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of hunters are real possessive over their turkeys, so it doesn't create a lot of opportunities for us to do turkey hunts.
Mm-hmm.
But if I can get, I'm all 100% for a squirrel hunt or a rabbit hunt or woodcock or duck. In fact, I got a duck hunt this weekend. I forgot to mention that. Up in Guntersville, and it's going to be, I don't know if you know this or not, but the state opened up, I think it's actually the federal government opened it up for youth weekend. They opened it up for disabled vets to be able to hunt for youth weekend, both youth weekends Alabama has.
Is it just disabled vets, or is it active military as well?
It's that, yes. If you served, if you can show proof that you served in the military, you're able to hunt.
Right, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah,
it's youth
correct.
hunt too, so that's great, man. You got the kids and the vets all in one. Well, active military.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about fighting spots with the guys that aren't vet or your normal daily duck hunters.
Right.
And that's this weekend, right?
That is this weekend.
Are you going to be there, or you just got it lined up for the vets to go there?
I won't be there. I got it lined up for vets. A good friend of mine, Patrick Morrison, lined that trip up. He just bought a nice little duck boat a couple months ago, and he's like, "Hey man, I got spots that's bigger than my old boat. I got spots for 3 vets, or well, he said 2 vets. I got a spot for 2 vets, because another vet's gonna be out there videoing it for him. He's like, line it up. I'll give you the dates where we're gonna meet at." And he goes, "Just tell me and we'll get it lined up." It's okay. I'm at the post. Got the guys ready to go this weekend. They're ready to head up to Gunnersville at 2:30 in the morning.
That's a trip
Start
from
shooting
here.
ducks.
Yeah. Are they active? Are they retired? Or
They are retired. Oh, one of them's disabled, and the other one is retired.
okay. All right.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing that one. You said one of them was videoing it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man.
Yeah,
A lot of fun.
Landon's a big duck hunter.
Oh yeah, I love it, man.
Oh man, I love it too, man. I try to go as much as I can, but ever since I took over the Fallen Outdoors, my duck hunting has dropped to almost nothing.
Yeah,
I go about once a year now because I'm doing these trips for these guys.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's probably more rewarding doing the trips for the vets, definitely.
It is. It really is. I love it. I love duck hunting too, though.
Yeah,
If I can get more duck hunts, I'd be
That's
down
what I
the
was
water
fixing
with
to
these guys instead of in the woods with the deer.
that's what I was gonna say. You just need more of those to take them on.
Right.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
it, man. But yeah. Well, Jonathan, man, I really appreciate you coming on the show and letting everybody know about the Fallen Outdoors and what all you're doing with the vets and everything. And if you would tell everybody again your email, so they
Yeah,
can get in
absolutely.
touch with you. You know, if they got a question about getting in the the Facebook veterans group or getting in, or like I said, even getting being somebody that would take a vet out. So what's that email?
Yeah, the email address is al for Alabama .lead LEAD at thefallenoutdoors.com, or you can email me at tfoalabama@gmail.com. And if you're a veteran and you want to get involved on these hunts or these trips, you can go on Facebook and look for the group, the Fallen Outdoors Southern All Veteran Community. You'll see for the southern states, you'll see it all highlighted in yellow at the top of the page, and just join there and answer the questions, letting us know that you're a vet and where you served. We'll get you in the group and hopefully get you on a trip.
Right. And if you listen to this podcast or watching it on YouTube and you live in Alabama and you have a boat or a piece of land, these guys, they sacrificed a lot for all of us.
So you can
So-
have that land and that
Yeah,
boat.
don't
and
be
everything.
greedy. Don't be greedy. Hunters are not greedy. I know we're a little stingy when it comes to turkeys. He was spot on about that.
Oh yeah.
But don't be greedy. Take one of these guys hunting and fishing. I mean, even if you got a turkey, man, guess what? There'll be another one there next year. So don't be greedy with it. Take one of these guys out. I mean, they'd love it. You might be saving their life.
Yep.
Jonathan, thanks a lot for being here, man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You
We'll see
take
you,
care.
bud.
Kiss me goodbye